Today, I'm going to be renovating the Goth family house, and as a bonus at the end of the video, I'm also going to be giving a little makeover to the Goth family themselves. Hey there, if you're new to my channel, so am I. My name is Chey, and this channel is all about having some shenanigans playing The Sims. So let's jump right into the Goth family house. Now, I don't know about you, but every time I look at the Goth family house, I constantly think it looks like an Amsterdam row house. Amsterdam is one of my favorite cities in the world because of the food, the culture, and definitely the architecture as well. I'm going to show you an inspiration photo that I'm using for this build. So my theory on the Goth family is that they come from old money. I think that Mortimer actually inherited this house probably from his parents, maybe his grandparents, and has kind of kept their style, which is fancy, old world, Eastern European looking to me. Bella and Mortimer actually have way more style than this house gives them credit for. Since Mortimer is a little bit older than Bella, I think that he actually tried to impress her a lot when they were dating and took her traveling, and one of the places that they went was Amsterdam, and they were totally inspired by Amsterdam row houses, which are very kind of dark and moody on the outside, and I love that style, and so do the Goths. And their current house actually really could turn into an Amsterdam canal row house very easily. It's already kind of got that dark and tall aesthetic, and there's also a river running behind their house, so it just seems like the perfect fit and a perfect inspiration for this build. Him and Bella were a little bit too scared to change things in the beginning, busy with starting a family and everything, so they kind of lived in it as is for a while. But finally, they feel ready to make the changes that they've been wanting to make to this house all along and finally make it their own. They finally have some time and of course some extra money lying around. Now at the start of this video, the family has about 45,000 simoleons, and I actually didn't give them any budget for this renovation. So we'll see how many simoleons they still have in the bank at the end of this renovation. I'm trying to pick some windows here. I had the hardest time picking windows. I kept going back and forth to the inspiration photo for this one and finally decided on the Moschino stuff pack windows. This stuff pack has come in handy way more often than I ever thought it would. I use these windows all the time. I think that they're super cool. Houses in Amsterdam have this really cool feature at the top of their houses because of how Dutch laws worked back in the day, maybe still to this day, don't quote me, but your taxes were based on how large the first floor of the house was. So they built these really skinny houses and just built multiple floors on top of them so that they could be very tall and offer space that way, but still just pay taxes for the main footprint of the house on the first floor. So very tall and skinny houses are very common in Amsterdam, and because they were so tall and skinny, they actually can't fit furniture up the stairs. So the very front wall of houses in Amsterdam, instead of being straight up and down, they actually kind of angle out like this, where the top actually angles out way more than the bottom does. And you'll see what kind of looks like a big corbel at the top of a lot of Amsterdam houses, and that was actually what they attached a hook to bring up their furniture to top levels of the house because it was just too narrow to actually bring in furniture from the front door all the way up to the top floors. Kind of a fun fact there. I definitely did put that into this build as well because I feel like that's such an important feature of Amsterdam houses. But you know what, in The Sims, the Goths will have no problem moving furniture up because they have a triple wide staircase in this house. So except for getting up to Alexander's room at the very top, they would have no problem bringing massive pieces of furniture up to the second level of this house. I'm keeping the backyard pretty simple. A lot of the landscaping really didn't need to be touched in this house, just kind of gave it a little refresh, just adding some seating outside with a little fire pit and of course a jacuzzi tub outside. Kind of a small yard, so again, just wanted to kind of keep nice and clean looking, just give them a place to hang out. And speaking of places to hang out, up here at the rooftop, Alexander's room is at the very top. I kind of think of this as like reclaimed attic space. I kind of imagined him one day being like, Mom, Dad, can I go out into the roof here and kind of make a little fun space to hang out? And they didn't necessarily want to let Alexander up there because they do have their solar panels, very young family, kind of environmentally conscious, and didn't really want him messing with that stuff, but decided to give him a small corner of the roof to hang out on. And I kind of imagine this as a place that he and Cassandra came up here to hang out with their friends and get away from their parents. So I really wanted this space to not look decorated by their parents, just kind of wanted it to be like found items. Got some beach towels and some fold-up chairs, lots of school projects and toys and stuff laying around. I totally think that Alexander is one of those kids that loves to collect bugs and frogs, so I have a lot of collecting tanks around the area. But again, just kind of a cute, fun space for the kids to hang out that the parents don't go to. Alexander's room is the smallest bedroom in the house, but I really wanted to pack in as many fun items as I possibly could. I kept the chess table, just picked a different one, kind of did the fun Moschino stuff walls. I'm trying to keep the original color schemes. I think just because you're redecorating house doesn't mean that your favorite colors go away, so I really kept to the original color schemes of the house. So Alexander's room was red before, just kind of finding a nice way to modernize it. He's gonna have a lot of toys, TV, he's gonna have a drone. This is a pretty well-off family, so whatever they can do to keep their kids happy, they're gonna do it, even if that means buying their love. So he's got some fun toys that not a lot of other Sims are gonna have in their personal personal bedrooms. But yeah, I kept it pretty simple up here. I did end up using these tall drapes throughout the house. I feel like they go really well with those windows just to be able to cover them up all the way. I don't want to make too many crazy changes to this house. Lately, when I've been renovating in The Sims, I kind of think of it as like an HGTV show where we're more just refreshing what's already there and not going too crazy, moving walls or anything like that. More just a style update, because I think that is way more realistic to what people renovate in real life. Moving into the main floor, I definitely had to look at some Dutch interior pictures for some inspiration, and what I saw was a lot of light and bright color. Ended up just going with the very simple plain white walls and the very light floors as well that are kind of the wider plank. I personally love this style. I would love to have this in my own house one day. So here in the main bedroom, I'm just trying to figure out how to give them some closet space and increase the bathroom a little bit. Their bathroom in the ensuite is smaller than the hallway bathroom. That was a little strange. I ended up giving them a water closet, which worked out because of where the walk-in closet placement was. So kind of just opened up the space in the rest of the bathroom a little bit. Again, just keeping it a very simple interior, a lot of black and white and just really light shades of wood. Moving into Cassandra's room, this was actually one of my favorites. I don't know why, but I actually love decorating for kids and teens way more than I enjoy decorating for adults. I think just because I can have a little bit more fun with it, with colors and things that are gonna go in here. So I actually ended up putting this massive canopy inside her room. Now, the walls in this house are the tallest wall height, and this was actually very difficult to decorate. I did not enjoy that aspect of it. But again, because of kind of the tall row house look, I didn't want to decrease the height of the walls. So just tried to find some fun ways to fill that space. So a canopy for Cassandra. I feel like her parents, again, just like Alexander's room, want to give her whatever they can to kind of please her. She has her own little desk set up in there and a vanity and TV and everything that a teenage girl could want in her room. She has it. I even included a little art stand as well and a yoga mat in the center of the room just to give her something to fill that space with. Now the upstairs hallway here was already a music room, so I decided to keep it that way. One thing that I did change here that is not a realistic reno is actually moving the stairs by a tile so that I could add a secret bookcase door to Alexander's loft. He didn't have a door before, it was just kind of open. I thought that was a little bit weird. The bookcase door is something that I never really get an opportunity to use, so I was stoked that I could use it here. Now this upstairs landing area already had a very expensive violin and piano. I just decided to leave it and just kind of change the look a little bit. I think this is a very artistic family, so I definitely did not want to take that area away from them. What I wish I had done up here was maybe add like a writing desk or something as well for Mortimer, because he is a writer. I didn't really give him a space for that in here. He didn't have one before either. It is what it is. Out here, a little patio, just added some seating to overlook the lovely little canal behind their house. And moving into the guest bathroom, I really just cloned what was in the main bathroom, kind of using the same finishes. I did end up adding a little cabinet in there, changing up the mirrors a little bit. I think in real houses, the bathrooms all kind of match. I don't really know too many houses that have completely different bathroom designs. Here in Bella and Mortimer's room, I am keeping, again, the same color scheme. They really love red. That's kind of the color that the room was before. Just trying to find a more modern way to bring red into it. I love these tall drapes. I really think that they, again, just kind of fill up that height. And when you have these super tall ceilings, you definitely need that help. Using the tackiest red dresser over here, I actually do end up moving that in just a little bit. I actually ended up adding a fireplace into the main bedroom. Thought that was just kind of a nice way to distinguish this as the main bedroom, and as well just kind of make it a really nice suite that Bella and Mortimer would love to actually hang out in. And in the main floor, my biggest goal was just to brighten up this space. I got rid of the walls underneath the stairs and changed the stairs out to be a lighter color. Again, I didn't really want to change too much in the general layout of the house. I actually kind of like it. It is a little bit closed off for my personal taste, but it is so big that it just kind of makes sense to keep the layout as it was. I ended up just adding beams as wall openings to the living room and the kitchen just to make it feel a little bit more open than what it was. Dining room's in the same space. I love these chairs that we got in the new update. Now all throughout the house I use light fixtures that I never get to use because I never do this tall wall height, so it was actually really nice to be able to incorporate some new items that I never use on other builds and use them here. Add a little bar to the dining room, of course. And in the entryway, I did actually keep the same marble that they had before, just kind of change it to a lighter color. And I did end up adding back in their suit of armor. I took it out initially, but actually I kind of like it. I feel like it fits the space. So again, kind of referencing that Dutch interior space here, which is very light and bright, lots of beams, lots of like neutral colors, but a ton of texture. That's the biggest thing that I was seeing consistently in these Dutch interior homes was lots of texture, but still very light and bright. Decided to kind of keep that trend in the living room. I absolutely love these bookshelves. These are my favorite things to flank a fireplace with and just fill it with lots and lots of clutter items and some pretty clean line furniture. Nothing too crazy here, but I really love these eco lifestyle couches with a little blanket over them. It's kind of the best I can do with adding texture to a room. It's actually a little bit harder to do that in The Sims than I would like, but added a little reading nook over here in the very front of the house with some plants, of course. And yeah, ultimately just a really nice place to entertain and hang out. Powder room, I'm keeping the same exact fixtures that I've done in the other bathrooms, just change out the mirror and some of the decorative items. And finally into the kitchen. So this kitchen layout was really funky to begin with, and I actually ended up just kind of utilizing it somewhat similar to the way it was. I experimented with a little coffee station right when you walk in. I did end up moving that, and you'll see later on, just to kind of fill this space a little bit more. I did keep a nice little eating area because their formal dining room is massive, and even though they kind of use it for their homework area, it's not exactly where they're gonna eat every single meal. Nice big island in the kitchen, and really, I mean, just a huge night and day difference between what was in there before and what's in here now. Just super light and bright and airy. Definitely added a massive drink station to the other side of this kitchen. They are definitely a family that has an espresso machine and a tea maker, so had to make some room for it. And here's the final product from the outside. I did add some little bicycles in the front because that's very typical of Amsterdam, and I will let the rest of the house speak for itself. If you like this Dutch-inspired renovation and don't want to build it yourself, you can download it from the gallery. And as promised, since the Goths have a brand new home, I wanted to give them a bit of a makeover as well. I kept it all really simple, but just tried to update their looks. I actually realized during this build that I have never played with the Goth family in The Sims 4. I definitely played with them in Sims 1 and Sims 2 because they already had money, so it was kind of a fun family to just jump into and get started. But once Bella disappeared in The Sims 3, I just never trusted Mortimer again. I don't care what you say about the alien theory. Kids, when a wife goes missing, it's always the husband. Always. I know what you did, Mortimer. I know what you did. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a boop, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! I said bye!